focus on the fourth topic, which is global warming and the effect of the rise of the West on global warming. Our topic slightly links to the third topic of industrialism, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Tomorrow when the other group presents. I don't know who the group is that belongs to that topic.
Yes.
But you'll learn more about it.
Yes.
So, tomorrow. The yellow ball that Claire is currently holding signifies the natural temperature changes as they affect the world. The blue ball is the contribution humans make to the environment. And this world or globe ball shows the combined effects of these two. Together, they all work together to create a global warming that we know today.
Yes. So, as much as this ball game that we just used simplifies global warming, it actually isn't as simple as it looks.
Global warming is one of the most complex issues facing world leaders today. Many people only talk about global warming on the environmental scale. But this is important, yes, but the environmental and economic balance that exists needs to be considered as well. Any company that slows its productions to compensate for environmental needs faces an economical dilemma, one that is especially felt in this time of economic turmoil.
Scientists know that the Earth experiences natural changes in worldwide temperature, a drastic example being the Ice Age. However, when normal shifts in temperature is combined with the increased greenhouse gas emissions and other environmental effects from human production, we are faced with a combination of the two that exacerbates the problem.
Although there are some that scoff at the idea of global warming, there actually is tangible proof of the changes in the environment, such as the marked shrinkage in the ice caps.
And this is a picture that we found of the ice caps in 2003. In 2004, there was already a marked decrease in the ice caps, and this has just continued into 2005, 2006, and 2007. So this has basically gone all the way from touching parts of Canada to Russia to being a small isolated ice cap.
And this is only
one of the tangible proofs.
4 years we're talking about. This is not millions of years that previously the world has gone through changes in big blocks of time. This is only 4 years. This is in our lifetimes, and that's a huge difference.
In addition, there are the projected warnings from scientists to consider. Many are saying that the world's temperatures could increase by as much as 4 degrees in the next few decades. While that doesn't sound like much, it actually has huge consequences. A 4 degrees Celsius overall increase means a world where temperatures will be 2 degrees warmer in some places, 12 degrees and more in others, making them uninhabitable.
It is a world with 1 or 2 meter sea level rises by 2100, leaving hundreds of millions of people homeless. This will head to 12 meters in the coming centuries as the Greenland and Western Antarctic ice sheets melt, according to papers presented at the conference in Oxford.
How many of you have heard of some of the islands that are actually starting to become uninhabitable right now? Any of you? John? Okay, so this is actually happening right now. There are some islands off the coast of Africa that are becoming uninhabitable. They have shrunk by maybe 50% in the past few years because of the rising sea levels. And this is because of the 4 degrees of warming that we're talking about. 4 degrees of warming would be hotter than any time in the last 3 million years, and it could happen as soon as 2060, 2070.
That's 50 to 60 years away. In order to prevent this warming, scientists have said that the United States must reduce its emissions from its current 20 tons of carbon per person average to 0 tons per person by 2020. to have an even chance of stabilizing the climate around 2 degrees Celsius.
And China's emissions alone must peak by 2020 and then go down to 0 by 2035 based on the current science. However, one of the things that we need to note when we say global warming, we don't just mean that the Earth is getting warmer. It is that that's just part of the danger of global warming.
The external forcing, as it's called, is perhaps the most obviously devastating part of global warming. One of the things global warming most damages is the ozone layer. I bet a lot of you have heard about the damages to the ozone layer. This layer, this layer absorbs 97 to 99% of the sun's high-frequency ultraviolet rays, which is potentially damaging to the life forms on Earth. Over the past few years, humans have introduced chemicals into the atmosphere that are capable of destroying the ozone, and a huge hole has opened up over Antarctica. This lets in UV rays from the sun that cause cancer in humans and other harmful effects.
So if you look at this picture, it's slightly this way, but this hole, we're not just talking about a tiny little hole in the atmosphere that will go away or possibly that won't matter. This is about the size of Antarctica. This is the size of one of our continents. And it's just getting bigger. So there is more of an effect than just, oh, the temperature's getting a little warmer. We might have a few less snow days. No, this is actually a hole in the ozone layer. And as for the origin of external forcing, it came with the rise of the West and industrialization. As large-scale businesses and companies began to spread across the world, so did their emissions and environmental impact. One of the consequences of the rapid industrialization has been the entering of artificial wastes into the air and water, which have posed dangers to humans and wildlife. For millions of years, we have known a world where resources seemed unlimited. However, fast we cut down trees, nature unaided would replace them. However much sewage we dumped in this river, nature would purify it. Today, we have finally reached the limit where nature is not responding to the waste that we dump in as fast as we need it to. Rivers can be polluted past praying for, and seas can be overfished to the point where we will have no fishing anymore. And forests must be managed and fostered if they are not to vanish.
This, coupled with the emissions threatening the ozone, has a devastating effect on the world that will not be solved easily. Currently, some of the leading world politicians even deny that global warming exists, or is a problem threatening the world.
So not only those politicians though. This is a graph that we found that says that 40% of American adults think that scientists have falsified global warming research. And while we're not saying that all of the research is 100% genuine, what this shows is that people are finding a reason not to care. People are finding a reason to say, oh, well, it's not true. Oh, well, we don't have to worry about it. But the truth is that we actually kind of really do.
Global warming has been an escalating problem since the temperature started shifting and has only accelerated with the rise of the West. This will become the most pressing global problem in a few years if it is not worked on now, threatening all of society. Does anybody have any questions?